O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying to me, there is no help for you in God. But you, O Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. I cry aloud to the Lord, and he answers me from his holy hill. O God of Bethel, by whose hand thy people still are fed, who through this weary pilgrimage hast all our fathers led. Our vows, our prayers we now present before thy throne of grace. God of our fathers, be the God of their succeeding race. This year, Saturday the 15th of August marks the 75th anniversary of the day when victory in Japan was declared, bringing the Second World War to a decisive end. It's a day for us to offer thanksgiving to God for the defeat of a cruel and oppressive regime that had terrorised and dominated Southeast Asia, and for the courage and steadfastness of the Allied forces who fought against a determined enemy. Throughout the war, the Imperial Japanese Army and their allies showed immense brutality and engaged in numerous atrocities against civilians as well as prisoners of war, especially those detained after the fall of the British stronghold of Singapore. My maternal grandfather, John Forbes Macpherson, was a lieutenant in the 1st Battalion, the 6th Gurkha Rifles, part of the forgotten 14th Army fighting under Lieutenant General Bill Slim in India and Burma. My grandfather would have been just 20 when he was commissioned. He was wounded fighting in Burma on the 19th of February 1945, aged 21, near Kanpur in Mandalay, Burma. By May 1945 he was back in action, recorded as being the navigator leading what, according to the historical record of the 6th Gurkha Rifles, was to prove one of the most exhausting tasks the battalion was ever called upon to carry out. In oppressive heat the battalion slogged along a riverbed with 10-foot-high boulders, cutting through dense jungle, climbing 2,500 feet in 36 hours, carrying all their equipment, ammunition and 3 days' rations. So difficult was the terrain that they had to halt 40 minutes in every hour to let the battalion catch up with the lead company. And this was just to reach the start line for the Battle of the Staircase. My grandfather never told me any of this. I was interested in the war as a boy and young man, but never really knew anything of the part he played. But it seems appropriate to recall his story and memory on this anniversary. He kept a newspaper cutting, making reference to the epitaph on the Kohima War Memorial in one of his books. It's dated from the 50th anniversary of VJ Day in August 1995. He died the following year, and I am now twice the age he was when he was wounded. Only when we dig a little deeper do we realise the sacrifice and hardships that his generation made. It serves us well to pause and remember, to count our blessings, and be grateful that we have not been called upon to make the sacrifices in war of his generation. He and around 1 million others in the 14th Army were still in combat or expecting to be so when the atomic bombs were dropped in Hiroshima on the 6th of August and Nagasaki on the 9th of August 1945. Less than a week later, news came through of the surrender of Imperial Japan on the 15th of August 1945. An horrific end to an horrific period. The historical record of the 6th Gurkha Rifles says this of VJ Day 1945. This last period has been unspectacular, but among the many who lost their lives were Lieutenant J.R. Loftus Tottenham and Jemadar Tilbir Gurung Military Medal. It was bitter to lose such gallant men when the fighting was about to end. There was little chance to celebrate the end of the war, but a good rum ration helped to cheer everyone up, and a general clean-up and renewing of clothing and equipment raised morale. My grandfather came home in 1947, 2 years after the war ended. He was released from war service. He married and had a family, though he carried the shrapnel from that shell for the rest of his life. The Commonwealth War Cemetery in Kohima in India has this inscription on it: "When you go home, tell them of us and say, 'For your tomorrow, we gave our today.'" So let us be grateful for all our tomorrows. Let us take time today to remember, to give thanks, and to appreciate the sacrifice others have made on our behalf, that we might have a future.
Through each perplexing path of life, our wandering footsteps guide. Give us each day our daily bread, and raiment fit provide. O spread thy covering wings around, till all our wandering cease, and at our Father's loved abode our souls arrive in peace.